Welcome, everybody, to this edition of the Patriots Playback. My name is David Stearns, here after pretty much a month off from talking with you all. And in this audio edition, we got to recap a couple of showcases, one before the holiday break and one after. And we do apologize for some of the audio difficulties that we had with these interviews, but we still heard everybody loud and clear as far as their thoughts on how well the team did down in Florida. And of course, taking a 3-1 showcase, and then last weekend up in Marlborough, Massachusetts, the team went 0-2-1, but pretty impressive all around, and you'll hear that from the coaches and players. So let's start off with John Mahaffee, the assistant coach for the Potomac Patriots, and then we'll follow that up immediately with associate head coach Rick Hildreth.
David Stearns joined here with assistant coach John Mahaffee. Coach, last weekend was a bit of out of the ordinary with the showcase showings this year. Last month was 3-1 down in Florida, but then this past weekend 0-2-1. Talk a bit about both of the showcases, because we haven't really talked about Florida since it happened, but talk about the transition between those two showcases.
I'd say the competition up in Boston this past weekend was probably a little better. We're playing those EJ North teams. Boston Bandits were a great team. Springfield was even better. The Bridgeton Academy was a very solid, well-coached team. I think a lot of what helped us down in Florida was being familiar with those teams. We played them before. We beat every single one of them earlier in the year. So we match up very well against them, and we just execute our systems very well. We did pretty good up in Boston, even though the record doesn't really show it. You're up 3-0 against Boston Bandits with a very young team, and you just it slips away and you lose 6-3. Springfield, probably our best game of the year. Tied them 2-2. I thought it was fairly evenly played, back and forth. And then Bridgeton, it could have gone either way. A late goal at the end of the first half, late goal at the end of the second half. We lose 2-1. So we just got to learn how to close it out.
Now, taking a look at the way the schedule has been, last time there was a wide margin loss has been since early November against Hampton Roads, and I believe it was an 8-1 loss. We haven't seen anything, with a wide margin like that ever since. Talk a little bit about, how the roster's coming together, and you guys are sitting 1 point inside the playoff picture for the EJ South. What do you guys got to do to execute here, throughout to get that playoff spot?
Well, I just think really we just had a better dedication to our systems and what we're trying to do. You just mentioned the blowout loss against Hampton Roads. I think the final straw was the two losses we had against East Coast early in December. The penalty kill was just atrocious. And after that, it was kind of the final straw. I just had enough with it. I switched to personnel, redid a couple things in our philosophy and the way we want to more attack them. And that's helped bring our goals against average down. We're instead of giving up 2-3 goals a game, if we give any up on the PK, it's 1. So that's very doable. Our defense has been pretty good. Our team defense, it's not just the defensemen. Everybody's making a commitment to it. They're doing their forecheck very well, getting shots to net. The power play's been clicking. So it's starting to come together. The team's starting to gel. Every team takes a certain amount of time to do it. And for this team, I think it's right about now. They're really starting to click on all cylinders.
I purposefully neglected to mention the game against the Philadelphia team that came down here. But with that aside, talk a little bit about the roster. I mean, do we have any changes here coming up against Navy tomorrow night?
Yeah, we have a couple guys that are out. Matt Whipper's going to be out this weekend. Obviously, that's a big loss. He's one of our captains and team leaders. He's got a personal issue to tend to back home. Same with John Rempe. That's a big defenseman for us that we're going to lose. And then Mikey Carr, he's been battling an illness, so he's going to sit out this weekend, as well as Kevin McDonald. With that being said, we have some guys that we're going to bring up. Jeff Egan, who's the captain of the Empire team, he's going to come up for this game. He's applied to the Naval Academy for next year, so it's obviously give him a chance to showcase his talents to their coaching staff. We're excited about him and what he's going to bring to our team. He can bring some character and some leadership. Tyler Nolan's going to be up. He's the leading scorer in the Empire team. He's got a lot of speed. I think right now he might play with Andrew Turgeon See how that goes. Turgeon can really, bring a lot to him and help him out. And then defensively, I brought up Matt Reynolds, someone I think very highly of. So a lot of people in this organization know. He's a very gritty defenseman, plays with a bit of an edge. Reminds me a lot of myself as a player. But I've been wanting to give him a shot, and I think this is going to be a good chance. He's going to be playing this level most likely next year at Virginia Tech, so they'll give him an opportunity to see what that's going to be like as well.
Now, I don't know if I should save these special teams questions for Associate Head Coach Rick Hildreth, but you guys are operating at about 78% on the penalty kill and about close to 20% on the power play. What do you guys got to do to improve upon that? I mean, the power play looks kind of decent there, getting up there in the numbers, but the penalty kill, could it be better?
Yeah, like I said earlier, the penalty kill has kind of been a tale of two seasons. It was off and on, and then after East Coast, I just kind of had enough of it that first weekend in December. We scrapped a lot of things, went back to the drawing board. Since then, it's been at 85%. So it's gradually working its way up. I mean, since then, it's come up from about 75 to 78%, but from that time period, it's an 85% PK, and it's really been doing well. The power play's been pretty steady all year. They're getting into the zone very regularly. They're generating chances. They're putting a lot of shots on goal, and they've gotten some timely goals for us. So the power play just needs to keep what they're doing. The PK is on the right track. It has shown great improvements, and guys are really working hard at that.
All right, so you guys got 2 exhibition games coming up here tomorrow night, obviously against Navy, and then the following week you guys have George Mason University. What are the keys to the victories in those games for you guys, and then also taking that into a break before you guys see East Coast Eagles at the beginning of February?
Well, Navy's a very good team. They're ranked number 11 or number 10 in the country in ACHA Division I. They're pretty well coached. They got one of the top scorers in the country at that level on their team in Tom Kreisel. They got a lot of good leadership, and part of that it goes to what they deal with every single day. They don't quit. So we're going to have to outwork them. When I used to coach, I used to say, we used to always say Navy-style hockey. Well, that's what this team's going to have to do. They're going to have to beat them in the loose pucks. They're going to have to win those battles. They're going to be fast. We're aware of that. One of their advantages that they like is they have that big, wide-open Olympic sheet. Well, so do we, so we're used to it. So it's not really an advantage for them anymore. It's just kind of a moot point. As for George Mason, I honestly don't know much about them. I couldn't really answer, but I'm sure if we play our game, we're going to do just fine.
All right, well, good luck tomorrow against Navy, and as always, go Navy, beat Army. And hopefully you guys walk out of there with a victory.
All right, thank you very much.
All right, that's assistant coach John Mahaffee. David Stearns joined here with associate head coach Rick Hildreth. Coach, I was just talking with Coach Mahaffee here a few minutes ago, and we talked about the difference between the 2 showcase weekends, the one down in Florida being a 3-1, in favor of you guys, and then this past weekend 0-2-1. Now, can you tell us, the difference between the 2 showcases?
Yeah, the Florida showcase was against EJ South competition, the 4 Florida teams. Very solid weekend for us. We worked on our systems and our line combinations, and it went very well. In the 2 EJ South showcases, we won a total of 7-1 this year. Very, very good for us. The past weekend in Boston was against EJ North teams, which is a step up in competition. And it took us a couple of games to get up to that level. Not just us, but all the EJ South teams. As the weekend went on, the EJ South teams performed better and better against the EJ North teams. As you see the level of play each game, you realize what it takes to get there. And each game we got better and better. We played Springfield Picks. They're ranked 11. The Boston team, Boston Bandits, is ranked somewhere in the teens, 17, 18, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Bridgeton Academy, they have a lot of very good players, all kids past high school age, kids out of high school, in between high school and college. So an older team, very similar to EJ North competition. So, I was very pleased. Again, on the scoreboard, maybe it didn't look so good being 0-2-1, but the games were all very good. We were ahead of the Boston team 3-0 at one point. Springfield Picks was 2-2, and we played very solid. And of course, 2-1 in the Bridgeton game, and they scored in the last minute. So we could have gone 3-0 just as easily as we went 1-0 0-2-1.
But talk a little bit in detail about what happened in that loss to Boston. You know, going up 3-0 and then crashing down and letting up 6 unanswered goals. What happened in that competition?
Yeah, that was our first game of the weekend, and kind of like I said, it takes a bit. You have to experience it and see it. We got up 3-0, and about 5 minutes into the second half, took a penalty. They got a goal. There was kind of a little bit of panic, like, hey, maybe this team's going to get back in the game. This should be a win for us. Things started to collapse. Everybody starts to panic a little bit and mishandle the puck, and then it just kind of all fell apart there at the end. But in the long run, that's a very good learning experience, because in the next game we come out and play Springfield and played rock solid all the way through, right from whistle to whistle. There wasn't a letdown at all. So you look back and you kind of say maybe that needed to happen. And the British team game at the end, again, very solid all the way, right from the beginning all the way through to the end.
Now, these games were all played in the mornings, and usually you guys are used to playing at night. How did that affect the mentality of the guys, traveling up there, a long trip on the bus there, and then just having to play these morning games? How did that affect the mentality of the guys, do you think?
Certainly the first game, we had the bus legs, and the first game was tough to get through. That might have been a factor, too, in why we weren't as strong at the end of that game. But as the weekend went on, everybody makes the adjustment. Everybody got plenty of rest, and we had some team meetings, had a good time, and I don't think the game times affected us adversely after that first one. Okay. And it's not necessarily that first game because it was a morning game. It's just because it was the night after we had traveled on about a 10-hour bus ride. It was tough.
You guys are 1 point into the playoff picture right now. East Coast is still trailing behind you guys, and they're your next batch of regulation competition. Talk a little bit about where you guys stand in the standings. I mean, obviously Space Coast is 1 point ahead of you guys, but then East Coast is knocking on the door 28 games deep here in the season. What do you guys got to do to capitalize here in the next month and a half?
Yeah, and Tampa Bay's right there too. I mean, they're in last place, but only by just 3 points maybe?
Yeah, 3 points, yeah.
3 points. So we played East Coast twice already. They're a team we should do well against. And the next time we play them, we go down to play at their rink in East Coast, which is a small NHL-sized rink as opposed to the Olympic ice. Mm-hmm. I actually think we're a better team on the smaller ice surface. So you might think going down there as their home ice would be to their advantage, but I don't think so. I think we're going to be a better team in their rink than we are at home against them, to tell you the truth. I mean, that's just the way I see it. Hampton Roads we've played well against this year. We can beat them. Atlanta's a tough team. We play them, I think, 4 more times. Mm-hmm. They're the best team we've seen in the EJ-South, and we're going to have to really be on our game to be able to stay with them. We can do it, but it's going to take all 20 guys to be having a good day.
What's the game plan moving forward here? You had a full week of practice. You got an exhibition game tomorrow. Then you got another full week of practice, and then an exhibition game on Sunday. And then you take a week off before seeing East Coast. What are you guys looking to apply in these 2 exhibition games going into the long haul, just waiting for that East Coast weekend?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Some of the players were complaining that we don't have enough games in January.
Yeah.
And now, I've been doing this forever, 20, 25 years now. This is the time of year when everybody starts to drag. Everybody starts to get sick. Everybody starts to get tired, and this is the perfect situation for us to kind of have these off weekends. We play on Friday night this week, but then the weekend off. We play George Mason on just a 1 game on a Sunday, but we have the Saturday off and the Monday's the holiday. And then the following weekend we have off completely. This is actually a perfect setup for us. Then we go into February, should be well rested with plenty of practices, and we should be ready to fly in February, whereas other teams, hopefully, if they've had a busy schedule, will really be dragging by the time February comes up. So even though the players don't like it and they're kind of saying, oh, we need more games, I don't agree. I think we're going to be just fine.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, and good luck tomorrow against Navy, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thanks.
All right, that's Associate Head Coach Rick Hildreth.
Well, now that we've heard from the coaches, let's talk with the players here as we took aside 4 players and got their thoughts on the previous 2 showcases and the exhibition games and the remainder of the schedule ahead. We talked with Ian Edgington, Garrett Forrest, Nicholas Gray, and Alex Grose. So let's see what they had to say.
David Stearns joined here with Ian Edgington, defenseman for the Potomac Patriots. You've put in your application for the Naval Academy, and you're going to be going up against them tomorrow night. But we'll talk about that in a few minutes. But talk a little bit about the trip down to Florida there. Haven't talked to you guys since then. How did that trip go?
That was a fun trip. It was a really good experience. I thought we competed pretty good, and we played well throughout the whole weekend. And we went to the beach. That was also really fun. And it was pretty cool to play in Florida and play hockey.
Now you guys are 7-1 against your EJHL-South competition there in the showcases. What are you guys looking to do to kind of improve upon that, especially with East Coast coming up after the 2 exhibition games with Navy and George Mason?
Just come ready to practice and work hard, and I think we'll be able to beat them.
Now Navy is a really highly ranked ACHA D1 team. What are you guys looking to do to kind of put you guys into the spotlight here and take a victory away from them?
We got to play some good defense. We got to stay in our guys, play good D-zone coverage, and get some goals. And I think we'll be fine.
You're looking to join the Navy, am I correct in that?
Yeah, later on. Trying to.
Well, hopefully the application goes through, and hopefully they'll be giving you a good look tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, thanks, Ian.
Thank you.
Ian Edgington for the Potomac Patriots. David Stearns joined here with Garrett Forrest, goaltender for the Potomac Patriots. How you doing, Garrett? This is the first time we're talking to you.
Yeah, that feels good. The whole team started playing better. We changed our defensive zone.
Okay.
And more shots from the perimeter, which I like more. So.
Okay. So a win and a tie. You had the win against Tampa back in the Florida Showcase, the 6-4 win, and then a 2-2 tie this past weekend in the Showcase up in Marlboro, and that was up against the Springfield EJ team. So how did it all play out? Let's start off with the win against Tampa.
All right, the win against Tampa, basically they came out flying first 5 minutes. We kind of calmed it down. We changed our defensive zone, like I said before, and the team helped me out too, so it was overall a good win.
Now Tampa is kind of in last place right now, but they're really making some headway here, trying to catch you guys in the standings. How important was that win to you guys, and what kinds of changes are you seeing now in the team going forward to try to maintain a playoff spot?
All the teams are getting better, and ours is getting better too. Tampa, brought along another goalie from the NA, but we played the better game that game, so looks like.
Talk about the Springfield game, though. You guys seen a lot better competition up there in Massachusetts, and Springfield being one of the better teams, as Coach Hildreth had indicated that they're ranked pretty high up there. They put you in the fire, and you held your own. And you said 56 shots you saw, and how did that one work out for you?
It was really good because I first points against the EJ North team. Maybe our club can get into the Central Division next year if they're making that. And so we needed those points. It was good.
So it's kind of a proving ground game, in your opinion, that you guys can contend up there at that level.
And it was like my 2 best games, so I've been on fire lately. We'll see how the next games go.
The defense, though, letting up 56 shots on you, how's your equipment doing, first off, and how are you doing? And what do you think that the team needs to do a little bit better to kind of soften the blow on the goaltending here as far as allowing shots and turn it up on the offense?
Well, I've seen a lot of shots my whole life, so I'm not too worried about it, but I think maybe the D should just play their game, not change anything different. Just keep playing the game, and because it looks like we're getting points these last few games, so solid.
Well, good luck with the rest of the season coming up here, and hopefully we'll be talking to you soon.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's Garrett Forrest, goaltender for the Potomac Patriots. David Stearns here, joined with Nicholas Gray. You had the 2 goals in the Springfield tie this past weekend. First off, talk about a little bit about the Florida Showcase and the 3-1, coming out of that one with 3 victories and 1 loss. Talk about the Florida trip for a little bit here.
Yeah, the Florida trip, we were successful. We did what we wanted to. We wish we could have got the Florida Eels game, but that one slipped from us real quick. We came back in the second, but it just wasn't enough time. Space Coast game, we played really well. Came out with a W in the late with a late goal. Let's see, the Tampa game was our last one. Played well with Forrest in net. He's a 97, so we had to show him that we could rely on him back in the net. And the last game against I think it's Tampa. Last game.
Yeah.
Went to shootout. Oh,
Yeah,
Palm
yeah.
Beach. Went
Palm
to
Beach,
shootout.
that's right. Yeah.
And me and Whipper, mainly Whipper, came in the clutch with the last goal to make it final. and we did really good Florida game.
Well, you're in a pace, a point per game at this point, coming in with 12 games under your belt. Talk a little bit about that Springfield game, the all-important game, if anything, on the stats from this past weekend. You guys held it pretty close with Boston, even though the wheels kind of fell off. You guys were up 3-0 and losing 6-3. But aside from that, the weekend looked like a success, just tying 2-2 and then losing 2-1 with a last-minute goal against Bridgeton Academy.
Yeah, we should have won the Boston game. Again, that one slipped straight from us. We were winning 2-0 going into the second, and we scored a third one, which made us pretty much relax. And then they got one, and you could tell the energy was just changed right after that. We didn't know that we were going to win the game. We didn't know that we were going to be winning. So once they scored, we were out of the game real quick, which we shouldn't have, because RJ called a timeout. We got together. He told us exactly not to do what we did, and we ended up just failing. But the Springfield game, yeah, that was just, I don't know, that was just awesome, I guess, because Grose, we were on a 3-on-2, and Grose dropped past to Nate. Nate just slid it right past to me, and it was backdoor goal. And the other one, VMO dumped it in, actually chased his puck instead of changing it up, and got it in the corner, passed straight to the front, and I was just there right when he passed it to me.
Go ahead, sorry.
You can go.
Yeah, I was just going to say, with that success in that game, tying 2-2 with a highly ranked team out of the EJ North, where do you see this putting you guys moving forward with 2 exhibition games and then rounding out the season with a lot of league games?
Yeah, it shows that we can definitely play with the EJ North teams. Like, we're not just South and North. There's no really difference. We're all EJ. We can all play with each other. And I think we should have got a couple more points out of that weekend, like the Bridgeton Academy game. That one, we should have got the last goal. I actually got a pass right straight to me with a minute left also. I think it was actually 3 minutes left because they scored with a minute left. 3 minutes left, and it just went right into the goalie's stomach, and I was hurting after that. That was a rough one.
So what are you guys looking to do to take a victory away from Navy, who's really ranked up there high in the ACHA D1?
Yeah, we're hoping we can just do the best we can, see what comes out of it, and should be a really good game. Navy's a top team. That's a lot older. I know some guys can't play because they'll be like a decade younger. So, I mean, it's going to be a tough game, especially since 95s are the youngest. One of the youngest on the ice. That's going to be tough.
All right, well, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
All right, that's Nicholas Gray for the Potomac Patriots. David Stearns joined here with Alex Grose. Grose, you blocked a ton of shots from what I'm hearing from this past weekend, but before we get to that, talk a little bit about your experience down in Florida. You guys walk away with 3 wins and 1 loss.
The Florida trip was pretty good. 3 wins, 6 points. Definitely needed that for the standings. We're in the playoff position right now. And it was a while ago. Had a lot of fun with the team going down to Florida. Nice weather, get away from the cold Virginia air. But hockey-wise, it was good. We played well. Besides the game against the Eels where we lost, I think it was like by 2 because we broke apart. Took too many penalties. Other than that, played fine.
I'll talk about this past weekend up in Massachusetts. Coaches are attributing a lot of block shots to you, and also you helped set up Nick Gray on one of his goals in the 2-2 tie against Springfield. So how did the entire weekend go for you as a whole, as a player?
For me, played pretty well. I would say I worked hard, did what I needed to do. Definitely could change a few things. Well, score-wise, we didn't come out with a win. Team-wise, definitely could have won all 3 games, but didn't produce.
So you're bringing up a few guys here from the Empire team to take on Navy tomorrow night. With the subtractions from the lineup for this weekend and possibly next weekend if these injuries or sicknesses prevail, what is that going to do with the team chemistry right now? Because you guys have really come together, helped out on the power play numbers and penalty kill numbers. Everything's been coming together, especially with the addition of Nick Gray. These additions from the Empire team, are they going to help or hurt your team's efforts going into tomorrow night's game?
They should help out. I mean, we're low on guys pulling up. I know I've played with a bunch of them. Egan's hard worker, big guy. Played with Nolan a lot of years playing roller hockey with him. He's a great player. He moves the puck well. Who's the other guy? Reynolds played with my brother a few years. He's a good player too. I don't know. We're playing Navy exhibition game. Should be fun. We'll see what we have to compete against them. They're a good college team. And then next weekend we just have a game against Mason, so that should be interesting. besides that, we're off. We don't have league games till February. So, I mean, we should get everyone back and then be ready to go by then.
All right, well, good luck tomorrow night against Navy.
Thank you.
All right, it's Alex Grose for the Potomac Patriots.
And so there we have the players' thoughts. We do apologize once again for the audio difficulties, but we did hear them loud and clear on pretty much all the points about how they've been doing ever since, the 3-1 walk away from the Florida Showcase, 3 wins, 1 loss, and of course the disappointing but yet pretty encouraging weekend up at the EJHL Winter Showcase up in Marlborough, Massachusetts, putting on some great efforts against some really solid teams like Springfield with that 2-2 tie, and of course the disappointment of that 6-3 loss to the Boston Bandits, and of course the 2-1 last-minute loss to the Bridgeton Academy. So hopefully they can build off of that this past weekend, and move into this exhibition game tonight against the Naval Academy's midshipmen. That game will be played down at the McMullen Ice Center in Annapolis, Maryland. If you could travel out there, the game is slated to start at 7:30. Navy, of course, is ranked at number 11 in the Division I American Collegiate Hockey Association, so this should be quite a competition between these two teams, and hopefully the Patriots can walk away with a victory in this one. And, of course, as we remind you, there is also the game next Sunday against George Mason University Patriots. That'll be at noon at the Prince William Ice Center, but we'll talk to the guys before then, so stay tuned for the next edition of the Patriots Playback. This is David Stearns saying, have a good weekend, everybody, and as always, don't stop believing.